Hey guys, Wolvie here. I'm beyond late to the whole party, but this is RWBY. The Volume 9 teaser video. This was available on their Instagram page, and by their Rooster Teeth. That's how I was able to catch it. And with that, I'm gonna go over what I was able to catch, what I think is going to happen, and my overall thoughts on the whole thing. So with that bit all out of the way. Any opinion in this video is my opinion only. Now, I do want to reiterate something I did in a couple of videos I've been filming over the last several minutes. And I was away from making content for a while. I'm still getting over a recent death of the family. It's actually a parent. I was out of state a little bit. I've been dealing with a lot of medical issues as well as work. So it's one of those things like I just had zero time. But with that out of the way, we're going to go straight into the topic. That is the Volume 9 teaser trailer that I was able to see on Rooster Teeth's Instagram page. Now, we do know that throughout the entire trailer, this is coming from RWBY's point of view. Now, we see her further separate from Blake. We see, or already saw a hint of that at the end of Volume 8. Now, we get to see a little bit further in this particular trailer. So, we do know that Blake is going to be needing a new weapon. RWBY may have to be on a search for her weapon, which is Crescent Rose. Now, we do know all of that. And again, this is very little information. We do know that they wake up on an island somewhere. We simply don't know where. We do know that there's a tree involved. Now, throughout the trailer, it's like we get to see RWBY, fighting Neo in a couple of she transforms a couple of times. Now, one of those times where Neo makes that transformation, RWBY doesn't do anything. When it comes to when she transfers it to Yang, yeah, that becomes a little spicy. Now, we do know that in Volume 9, we're probably going to be seeing Weiss and Yang being armed. So they're not going to be as, in part of my language, they're not going to be as shit out of luck as Blake and RWBY. Now, the person who's probably going to be the most SOL is going to be Blake because her weapon is gone. And then you look at RWBY, she might be able to find Crescent Rose. Now, Mirton asked her, that's with Weiss. Blake's fist is going to be, or her weapons with Ember Celica. Now, what I'm going to say here in this section is okay, what I think is going to happen in Volume 9. Now, with the tensions between RWBY and Yang, I do feel we're going to be seeing that. There's no avoiding it. Because if you look at the beginning of Volume 8, Yang was questioning RWBY. Then you look at it's kind of late in Volume 8, I know it was 8B, the second half, that RWBY was not really, Yang, get away. I don't want you around. I do feel there's going to be some really big tension between the two. And it may really divide the team up. And I think it's going to take this volume, to force varying people's hands. Now, the reason why I say that is because of Volume 7. Now, you're talking about what? Or are you bringing up something from 2 volumes ago? Now, if you look at some of the things in Volume 7, this may take some little okay, I see what you're saying is that early on in Volume 7, it's nobody's really wanting to do anything RWBY suggests. RWBY wants to visit the sites, all this stuff. And the other 3 were nah, we need to get some sleep, blah, 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 blah. That's part 1. It's kind of early. Now, the other instance in Volume 7, and people may not realize, it's the whole thing where Yang and Blake go to the club, and Weiss goes to the movies. Now, the whole thing there's just RWBY was thinking for a while, I'm are we going to be splitting up again? And I think we're going to be heading in that direction because you're talking about Blake and Yang, wanting to do their own thing. Weiss wants to do something different too. Which leaves RWBY by herself. And I do think that in Volume 9, it's like RWBY's going to be doing a lot of soul searching. Meaning that, should she really be the leader of the team? Or, alternatively, should she be away from at least one or two of the members of the team? And some of the hints, I'm like, okay, the whole thing, nobody wants to do anything, with RWBY, see Atlas a little bit. Nobody wants to do that. That's hint number 1 in Volume 7. Hint number 2 in Volume 7 is that Blake and Yang go clubbing. Weiss goes to the movies with Jean and Oscar. And RWBY was forced to see the whole party thing tied to Robin. She's supposed to, all the events of that whole thing, get together for Robin. RWBY was forced to go through all that alone. So that's hint number 2, and these two are from Volume 7. Hint number 3, beginning of Volume 8, where Yang is questioning RWBY's abilities and by their leadership abilities. That's in the hint number 3. So we're going to be seeing some tensions, believe it or not, in my opinion that way. Anyway, hint number 4 in Volume 8 is that when the team when Yang reunites with everybody, RWBY's like, I don't think so. And I think we need to see some format of talk not only between Yang and RWBY, but also Yang and Blake, because I honestly feel that we're going to be seeing a one-sided Bumblebee. Now, don't go into who I ship here, because that's something for me to know and me to know only. And I'd rather not keep the shipping stuff, in my videos, that sort of thing. But anyway, I do feel we're going to be seeing a one-sided Bumblebee. Now, the reason why I feel we're going to be seeing a one-sided Bumblebee is because you look at how Blake sees things versus how Yang sees things. I think with the tensions between RWBY and Yang possibly coming to a head, is that I think Blake might see Yang as somebody's better off as a friend than a potential better half. Because the way Yang sees things, it's the biggest hint there being Volume 7. Because I feel that Yang is becoming more like her mother Raven. Or possibly a female version of Adam. And Blake's more let's not kill so many people, there's no real need for violence like that. I need to drink some water after this, so don't mind. So I do feel we're going to be seeing some one-sided Bumblebee here. Or, if not, in a later volume. Now, my overall thoughts on this. I do really wish that as a show, there is some improvements that's badly needed. We're talking consistency, and by that, we're talking RWBY's semblance. And the reason why I kind of bring this up is that I noticed at the end of Volume 8, and I'm and somebody brought this up on Twitter, you have RWBY's semblance, but why did you use Blake? It's that type of decision making. I was not really paying attention to it at first. But it was now that I'm thinking about it, it makes sense to question that. Now, regarding the whole thing with Weiss, it's we may see her a trial by fire here. And if Weiss is revealed to be the one who, I'm going to go back, whatever, to do my own thing, this might be forcing other people's hands. If you know what I mean. And this may be another reason why Bumblebee becomes one-sided. And the whole one-sided hint comes from, believe it or not, Volume 7, between that dialogue of words exchanged with Nora and Remy, that one will feel one way, but the other won't reciprocate. So it's one of those things. It's like there's a lot of like, okay, I gotta pay close attention, that sort of thing. And unfortunately, certain aspect, it's like I think the writing is like it's got to improve. I mean, some people can only withstand the inconsistencies for so long. So it's like, is it really worth it? So with that, with some of the aspects here, I do feel that it's like we're probably going to be seeing like more of the My Volume 9 Predictions Part 1. So I'm going to end the video on that because I do have to look up the tweet and go into that one. So I'm done with this video, believe it or not. With Wolvie here, signing off. I will catch you all on the flip side.